What are you currently reading?
As of today, I'm rereading Fahrenheit 451, and I want to reread all of Bradbury. And it actually fits in with something that I'm doing now. I just finished up a book that I was working on for 7 years. And so I'm taking a short breather for a month or two before I start my next book. And I decided that I wanted to actually reread, delve back into the books that have meant the most to me since I was a little kid. And I actually got this idea about a month ago at the death of another beloved author, Maurice Sendak, when he died at the beginning of May. And Sendak actually had a really foundational influence on me as a writer. And so the first book I actually started by rereading was my favorite Sendak book, which is something called Higglety Pigglety Pop.
What is the one book that stands out from your high school experience that they gave you to read?
Well, it's interesting. The two books that just spring to mind right now from high school, maybe because we're talking about censorship and banned books, everybody in my time was asked to read 1984 and Brave New World, both books that have been censored and sometimes banned. And those were very positive, and I'd say the negative experience was being forced to read Catcher in the Rye, another book that I think of because it's also been banned but simultaneously encouraged by a lot of high schools. And what I hated about being forced to read that was that it was the ultimate book about rebellion, and it's sort of like having your parents force you to listen to the Sex Pistols, or, you know, force you to, if you have parents who want to make you get into punk rock, it's like, no, leave me alone, you're spoiling the whole experience. But those are all great books.
What makes a book great? Is it the plot? Is it the character? Is it the landscape?
For me, there's got to be a feeling. To be a great book, I want it to be a world that I can live in, usually again and again. So for me, one thing is that a great book is to be reread. The only books that my mom brought with her to the United States when she came from France after the war were actually a really like onion skin paper set of the Three Musketeers and the other Alexander Dumas adventures. And she had actually hung on to these books during the war, and I think they are books that inspire you in the worst situations, but she actually brought those with her when she was an orphan and had almost no possessions.
What do you think about censorship now in 2012?
To me, the kind of censorship that goes on in the United States now is a very particularly insidious and subtle kind that in some ways I find more disturbing than the classic varieties of censorship, because, you know, I live in a world of European history in the 18th and 19th century, and the censor was part of society. Every major country except the United States had its censor, and writers all they kind of jousted with the censor. It was like a constant struggle, but they knew who they were fighting. It was an overt censor. Fahrenheit 451, of all books, you know, the ultimate modern tale of book burning, was itself censored for many years without the author's knowledge.